Hi, and welcome to yet another episode of Gonna Cast ZA. In this episode, I'm going to quickly look back at Arsenal's first away win this season, as well as what we can expect this weekend now that the Premier League is taking its international break. So before I get into the show's content, I just want to say that this is the 5th episode of Gonna Cast ZA, and that basically means that I've been doing this for just a little over a month right now, and I must tell you, it's been quite a journey so far. I mean, there have been a couple of times where I've had to pull a few late nights recording and editing the podcasts, and as a new podcaster, I can safely say that this is not as easy as what some people make it out to be. It's a lot of hard work, but yeah, I'm grateful for the support that people have shown me over the last month, and it's nice to see some of these independent podcasters also show some love, and I'd like to give some of them a quick shout out. One of them are a Burkamp Wonderland. You can go follow them on Twitter at the AFC Podcast. There is also Chronicles of a Gooner. You can go follow them on Twitter at Chronicles_AFC. Same Old Arsenal. You can follow them on Twitter at Same Old AFC. And shout out to the rest of you who have been showing some love. I really, really appreciate it. Now, into this episode's content, shall I say. We finally got our first away win of the season under Unai Emery. And as you guys recall, we haven't been doing so well away this year, especially in the beginning of the year when we were still playing under Arsene Wenger. So it's nice to finally get 3 points away from home. It's something we're not really used to seeing, but we've finally done it. And yeah, it's something to be happy about. I don't know why people or why some fans are upset, but all I can say is that I'm happy, and yeah, this is progress. Definitely progress. Now, in the last episode, I predicted that Arsenal were gonna run out 2-1 winners. I wasn't expecting it to be a huge scoreline, and I was also counting on Cardiff giving us a really tough game. And that's what it seemed to be. I mean, you look at the scoreline, 3-2, and you think this was a very, busy game, a very end-to-end game, and that's almost exactly what it was. Cardiff really gave us a run for our money, and they did give us a big scare. But for the neutral, it was a fantastic game to watch. I mean, Arsenal score first, then Cardiff score and equalize, then Arsenal score again and get back in the lead, then Cardiff come back and equalize, and then in the end, Arsenal score the winner. So yeah, it was a very good game for the neutral. But for us as Arsenal fans, our hearts were racing basically, because we thought, oh no, here comes another away draw or another away loss. And suddenly last year's away form started to creep in the back of our minds, and we thought, how the hell are we going to do this? But Arsenal have this new found will, should I say, to want to win a game, and this is something I've noticed under Unai Emery's new team. You see, in the past under Wenger, it almost feels like every time the away team scored an equalizing goal, or the away team scored a goal that would put them in the lead, we'd basically just give up and think, oh no, this is it. This is probably going to be what the end score is going to be like. Why should we, carry on? But no, there's something new and something exciting in this team. And it's also really refreshing to see that we put up a fight at least. And we've seen it in the Chelsea game where we came back from 2 goals and we brought it level up to 2-2. We saw it in the West Ham game where we were behind 1-0, but we brought it back and we won 3-1. We saw it in this Cardiff game where they equalized, and not even 10 minutes later, we put another goal past them and went into the lead, and then won that game 3-2. So this new sort of, this new desire to fight for a win is extremely refreshing to see. And that's one of the positives that I'm seeing in Unai Emery and his team, and I'm loving it, I must say. But overall, I'll admit it was a very good game to watch. All the goals scored in the match were very good, very well worked. Albeit Cardiff's goals came from either silly mistakes that we made in the midfield or decisions that went against us in the midfield. But yeah, all 5 goals scored in that match, like I say, they were well worked. None of them were scrappy. And in the end, at least we were the team that outscored the other one and brought home the 3 points. So I'm happy about that. I was also extremely happy to see that Aubameyang and Lacazette were finally going to start a game together. And you could see during the game why they should start together. Their partnership and their link-up play is absolutely brilliant. And I think that Emery will start playing them together more often after a performance like that. I was also very disappointed to see that Torreira wasn't starting the match. And you could see why he should start the match, because as soon as he came on in the game, he made such a difference. He is a game changer, and he also brings out the best in other players like Ozil and Xhaka, because they suddenly have the freedom to do what they want and go forward a bit more because they know that they've got that extra layer of protection behind them. So yeah, I think he's probably been one of the best signings we've made so far. And I'm really hoping that Emery starts him for the Newcastle game on the 15th. I think he makes such a difference in this team. And I think if we're going to do really well, he has to start basically every single game for us. But then there's the question of, if Torreira starts, who's going to start alongside with him? Will it be Xhaka or will it be Guendouzi? There was actually someone, or a couple of people, should I say, posted stats on Twitter about our midfield pivots. And so far, when Xhaka and Guendouzi have played together, they've played more or less 240 minutes together. The team have scored 5 goals and conceded 7. However, when Xhaka and Torreira play, which has equaled around 54 minutes, the team has scored 3 goals and conceded none. But when Guendouzi and Torreira play, they've also played around 65 minutes together. The team has scored no goals and they've only conceded 1. And now everyone is going, oh no, you should definitely put Torreira in the team because, I mean, look at the stats. And I agree with them to an extent. I agree that Torreira should start, but I think it's too early to start comparing our midfield pivots, because if you look at the minutes that they've sort of played with each other on the field, Xhaka and Guendouzi's time is far ahead than that of Xhaka and Torreira or Torreira and Guendouzi. So with that being said, I think that our midfield pivots can only be compared to each other once all the times are basically the same. And that's my opinion. You might disagree with me, but I look at it from that point of view, and that only makes sense to me. But if there's one thing that we can agree on, is that Torreira should definitely start for Arsenal. Now I'm going to go into something new. It's something I haven't done on a podcast before, and that is give my opinion on the player ratings. These are out of 10, of course, so without further ado, let me get into them. At the back, our goalkeeper, Cech. He didn't have much to do in the game. He had to stay alert, obviously, when Cardiff were going forward. But the 2 goals that came through from Cardiff, well, there wasn't much he could do about them, but I'm going to give him a 4. Mainly because of the heart attacks that he almost gave me whenever he received the ball and had the ball at his feet, for that matter. In our right back position, we got Bellerin, and I gave him a 6. He had a very average game, but he did look threatening on the wing and going forward, and he does give us that width that we lack at the moment. So yeah, I've got a 6 for Bellerin. In the centre-back positions, for Mustafi, I gave him a 7. I think he had... You know what? I'm going to give him a 7.5. I think he had an exceptional game. He scored that bullet of a header, which is absolutely fantastic. And he's starting to show promise. I think he's becoming a pretty solid defender. Him and Socrates are forming this nice little partnership at the back there. And yeah, I just hope he keeps playing like this consistently. He looks a real danger with set pieces, and that's something we can definitely use. The other centre-back, Socrates, I'm going to give him a 5. I didn't see much of him in the game. I think he had a pretty average game. He didn't do much wrong. He didn't do anything exceptionally noticeable either. So yeah, 5 for him. In our left-back position, we got Nacho Monreal. He also had a very average game. He could have done better with Cardiff's first goal with the defending, but I'm going to give the Spaniard a 5. In our midfield, we got Guendouzi and Xhaka. Now, for Guendouzi, he didn't look as sharp as what he did in the Chelsea game, but he did put together a couple of good passes, and I'm going to give him a 5 as well. And for the man alongside him, Granit Xhaka. Now, Xhaka's been getting a lot of stick from the fans, and he's actually sort of divided opinion amongst some of the fans. You know, some are saying he's really good, some are saying he's absolutely poor and should be dropped. Initially, I gave him a 4. Mainly because I was so angry at him for giving away that ball that led to Cardiff's first goal. But I looked at the stats as well, and his accuracy of passing in the game overall was pretty decent. So I think, you know, despite the mistake, I'm going to give him a 5. I think he looked a lot more composed as well when Torreira came on. So yeah, 5 for me. Now, ahead of those two, we have Ozil, Ramsey, and Aubameyang. Ozil went completely missing in the first half. I don't know where he was. I didn't see him get on the ball a lot, but he pitched up in the second half and actually put a decent performance in. So for that, I'm going to give him a 6. He was also involved in the build-up to the Aubameyang goal. So yeah, 6 for me for Ozil. The next one, Ramsey, I gave him an 8. I think his work rate on the day was exceptional. It was absolutely brilliant. His running on and off the ball, making those runs, getting possession, and just holding the ball up the whole time. He looked absolutely instrumental on the day, and yeah, he gets an 8 for me. Then we have Aubameyang. He was also very quiet at stages, but his link-up play with Lacazette was very good, and my word, that goal was a peach. So for that, I'm giving him a 7. And then in front of those three, we got the main man and my man of the match, Alexander Lacazette. Straight up gets a 10 from me. He's really looking like the striker we've been missing for a really long time. His pace, his strength, precision, hold-up play, and his finishing. Wow. No, he's definitely looking like one of the best players we've got on our team so far. So yeah, big ups to him. I hope he can keep it up this season and become our top scorer for the season, as well as maybe top scorer for the Premier League. I don't know, who knows. Then looking at our substitutions, we got Torreira, Welbeck, and Mkhitaryan. Now, Welbeck and Mkhitaryan weren't really on for too long for me to give them a rating. I don't think it's fair to give them a rating based on how long they were on the field. But Torreira was on for long enough for me to rate him, and I gave him a 9. I thought he was absolutely instrumental and pivotal in our midfield, and he even got that assist for Lacazette to score the winning goal. So yeah, I'm a big fan of the kid, and I think he deserves that 9 out of 10 rating. So yeah, those are my player ratings. Let me know what you guys think. Also, let me know what your player ratings were for that game. Maybe it's the same, maybe it's not. But yeah. Now, this weekend, sadly, there is no Premier League football. I feel like this international break has come way too quickly after the new season has started. But at least there is some football to watch. We've got the UEFA Nations League, which is a new tournament, and I'll get into that a bit later. And we've also got the Arsenal legends versus the Real Madrid legends at the Emirates Stadium this weekend. Now, this fixture was a two-legged tie, and we played the Real Madrid legends at the Bernabeu, when was it? On the 3rd of June this year. Sadly, we lost to them 2-1, but, hopefully with the home advantage now, we can get a win. And I'm actually looking forward to that game. I want to see if I can tune in or maybe stream the game and see some of those Arsenal legends play for us again. So yeah, it's definitely one to look forward to. Now, the other competition that I mentioned was the UEFA Nations League. And I only caught a glimpse of this the other day on Twitter, and everyone was asking, what the hell is the UEFA Nations League? So I did a little bit of research, and I saw that it is a new tournament that UEFA have introduced now. And basically how it works is that there are 55 teams involved in this competition, and they are split up into 4 leagues, League A, B, C, and D. And within those leagues, you have 4 groups. Group 1, 2, 3, and 4. Some of those groups have 3 teams in them, and some of them have 4. Now, how they're seeded is they're based on the FIFA rankings after the FIFA World Cup, and all the teams from high up in the FIFA rankings are put into League A. And the rest of the teams are then seeded into League B, League C, and League D as the list goes down. Then you get a stage in the competition that's called the Final Four. And this is basically, it only has to do with League A. And the winners of each group in League A face off against each other in 2 semifinals. And then the winners of those semifinals face off in a final. And that takes place in June next year. So now with Euro 2020 coming up and the qualifiers also starting next year, March, surely one must think that this tournament is going to affect those qualifiers. And yes, it actually does. The qualifiers will go on as normal, but there is an interesting twist to this whole UEFA Nations League and the UEFA Euro qualifiers. Now, in the Euro qualifiers, there are 5 groups consisting of 5 teams, and there are another 5 groups consisting of 6 teams. And the top 2 teams from each group make it automatically to the Euros. That means that there are 4 more places left for the Euros, and basically how you get into those places is by playing these playoffs. Now, each of the UEFA Nations League leagues have 4 playoff spots. If the winner of a Nations League group has already qualified for the Euros in the traditional way, then the next best team which has not qualified goes into the playoffs. Then those 16 teams will go into 4 groups, with the top team going to the Euros. The 4 teams play 2 one-off semifinals and 1 one-off final to determine playoff winners. So basically that just means that if one of these teams in the nation leagues, do badly in the traditional Euro qualifiers, they still have this Nations League competition as a second chance to sort of get into the Euros again. And yeah, this is quite beneficial because now it gives the chance for some of these smaller nations to actually make it to the Euros. So that's basically what the UEFA Nations League is all about. We've actually got a thriller of a match tonight, and that is France versus Germany. And they're the first match to kick off this new tournament, and what a game that might be. I myself am a French supporter. I've mentioned this before, so I am rooting for France tonight. Hopefully they kick some German ass. And yeah, we've also got some other games this weekend to look forward to in that league. Some of our Gunners will also be involved. We've got Socrates, who's going to be playing for Greece. We've got Henrik Mkhitaryan, who's going to be playing for Armenia. Aaron Ramsey will be playing for Wales. Lichtsteiner and Granit Xhaka will be playing for Switzerland. And Danny Welbeck could also feature for England in that competition. In general, all the Arsenal players taking part in the international break this weekend are Mohamed El-Neni. He's playing for Egypt in their AFCON qualifiers. Socrates, I've mentioned, is playing for Greece. Mkhitaryan is playing for Armenia. Ramsey is playing for Wales. Lucas Torreira will be playing for Uruguay in their international friendlies. Lichtsteiner and Granit Xhaka, I've said, have been playing for Switzerland, as well as Danny Welbeck for England. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang will probably captain Gabon in their AFCON qualifiers as well. And the likes of Ospina, who's on loan to Napoli, he's playing for Colombia. So yeah, those are all the notable Gunners that are in action this weekend. Ozil's not playing for Germany, obviously, so he's going to be well rested for the Newcastle game. And my home nation, South Africa, or Bafana Bafana, are also playing against Libya in their African Cup of Nations qualifiers. So yeah, good luck to the boys there. Hopefully they can get a win. For more content and updates like this, you can follow me on Twitter at gunnercast_ZA. You can also subscribe to Gunnercast ZA on YouTube, iTunes, and SoundCloud. That's all from me for this week. Hope you all have a good weekend. Goodbye.